Silos needed. Silos needed. Silos needed. Silos needed.
Yes, sir. Ready and waiting. At once. Agreed.
Building. Building. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready. Building. Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Ready yes, and sir. Waiting. At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting order.
Ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Comrade. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Agreed. Acknowledged. At once. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Acknowledged. Agreed. Yes, sir. Comrade. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Report. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well.
Silos
Yes, sir.
needed.
At once. Very well. Yes, sir. Very well. Agreed. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course.
Silos needed. Unit lost. Silos
Comrade.
needed.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Silos needed. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Very well. Affirmative. Reporting.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed. Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready. Training.
Yes, comrade.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reportive.
Building. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Our base is under attack. Prepare.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting orders.
Lost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agreed. Agreed. Ready and waiting.
Unit lost. Silos needed.
Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Very well. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Waiting yes, order. Affirmative.
Building. Silos needed.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost. Construction complete.
Vehicle acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, reporting at once. Reporting at once. Comrade, affirmative.
Primary building selected. Training. Unit ready. Training.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Awaiting order.
Training.
Acknowledged. Comrade, affirmative.
Unit ready. Training.
Reporting.
Repairing. Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Training. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Awaiting
Training.
order. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Awaiting orders.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Comrade, affirmative. Acknowledged.
Preparing.
Awaiting orders at once. Very well. Reporting at once. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Reporting. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. At once. Agreed. Awaiting orders. Agreed. Ready and waiting. Agreed. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Yes,
Naval
sir.
unit
Acknowledged.
lost.
Waiting affirmative. Reporting at once. Reporting orders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well.
Unit lost.
If you fail, do not return.
No prisoners, no survivors.
Yes, sir.
If you fail,
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
I am the future.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, waiting order.
Preparing.
Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Agreed. Awaiting orders. Very well. Yes, sir. Very well.
Unit prepared. Preparing.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit prepared.
Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting.
Preparing.
Acknowledged. Reporting.
Preparing.
Affirmative. Comrade.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Repairing.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Comrade, yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. Comrade, acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Agreed. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Affirmative. Comrade.
Yes,
Acknowledged.
lost.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Naval unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Report. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. At once. At once. Yes, sir. Reporting. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Building.
Comrade, acknowledged. Reporting. Awaiting orders. At once. Reporting. Acknowledged. Comrade, yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting.
Base is under
Affirmative.
Prepare.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, waiting sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Comrade, yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Vehicle report. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting yes, orders. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, nothing. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting affirmative. Report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting yes, orders. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Yes, reporting. Acknowledged. Comrade. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. 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 Comrade. Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Insufficient
Affirmative.
funds.
Acknowledged. Waiting orders.
Acknowledged.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Reporting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Mission accomplished.
Żal Rosju. Żal żeńszyn. Żal ruskich żeńszyn. Excellent work in the Ukraine, Commander. You are ambitious. Ambition can be very useful.
might find your way into a cramped corner office in a drafty old building in what used to be the better part of Moscow. I like you. I like you very much. And I am Russian. I do not like anybody. But I drink to you, comrade.